James, we shall make an amazing recipe to show John that tofu does not suck.
Don't you mean that I should come up with a recipe that shows John that tofu doesn't suck?
With your help, we shall show John he knows nothing, and we will put an end to his rebellious attitude.
Well, I'm sure I could come up with something. But let's face it, when we're starting to work on the recipe, we have to realize that tofu's kind of bland and boring in its natural state. But there's things we can do. We can make it not suck. Now what we want is we want tofu that's going to have kind of crispy edges and kind of dry. And by drying it out like that, it's going to soak up our sauce. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with this super firm tofu. If you don't have super firm, you can buy firm or medium or whatever and mash it some more or squeeze it or whatever you want to do. Just basically put some weight on it, let the moisture come out, and you'll eventually get there. Okay, it looks like our oven's preheated now. Now our recipe, we're only going to use 8 ounces, but I have a 12 ounce or 16 ounce, it's 1 pound block. And since I've got the oven on and all that good stuff, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cook the whole batch, but I'm only going to use about half of it. Now, I'm going to cut this into fairly good sized pieces, and that'll give us a kind of a crunchy texture on the outside, but yet a chewy texture in the middle. And I'm going for pieces just about like that. See how these are arranged? You got plenty of space in between and everything. That'll help. That way they get good airflow. And we're going to put them in there until we start seeing this side crispy, and then we're going to kind of flip them. What I have in here is 4 shiitake mushrooms that are dried, that have been soaking in water for a couple of hours. I put just enough water in there to cover them. Anyway, this is the package I used. This is what they look like in the package. Let them soak for a couple hours, then they get soft and they make a good broth. So anyway, we're going to take these, we're going to start slicing them up. Take them, we're going to squeeze them, get some of that water to come out of them. Now that stem, there's a part of that stem that never get soft. It'll never really get good for cooking with, other than making soups and stews or something like that. This part right here, you can save that and put it in stew or make soups and stuff. That's all it's good for. I don't really want it in my stir fry. All right, so I want some fresh ginger. I'll take a little piece of this off. Take my spoon, peel the skin off. Got some green onion. I've got 3 of them here. I'm going to chop up. Not sure if I'm going to use all this or not. But if I don't use it here, I'll use it somewhere. I'll use it in something else. So while I'm chopping, might as well go ahead and chop some. Let's get started on our sauce. We'll take some of this mushroom broth. I'll put it in here. Here, that's half a cup. That's good because all I got in the bottom is these little sticky things. Now I'm not going to measure today, but I want about 1 tablespoon of hoisin sauce. Using sugar in the, where's this thing at? Using sugar in the raw. About half a teaspoon. I'm using some soy sauce. Using about a teaspoon of that. Using black vinegar. About a teaspoon of that. Now it's our sweet and sour, salty. Need a little sesame oil. About half a teaspoon. Now the written recipe, I'll put a link down below to my website. Now, the cornstarch, I'm going to put 1 teaspoon. Now the reason I'm making a lot of sauce today is because that tofu is going to soak up a lot of sauce. The teaspoon or the cornstarch is going to help thicken everything. Normally for half a cup I would put a little bit more cornstarch, maybe like a tablespoon, but because that tofu is going to soak up so much liquid, I think we're going to be okay. So after 20 minutes, this is what our tofu is looking like. See how it's browning up? We're going to flip these over, and then back in the oven they go. I have some broccoli florets here. I didn't buy the broccoli heads and cut them up myself because they looked pretty bad at the market today. So anyway, I went with these. I don't normally buy this stuff that's already cut up. Cut my own. Then I get the, like even if I got stalks left or whatever, I can use to make them, make soups, and it's a lot cheaper that way. But anyways, I don't know how much I have here. Although, now this is a 2-cup measure. In the recipe, I'm going to say 3 cups. There we go. Cut the bigger pieces into bite-sized pieces. Got some water coming up to boil, and as soon as that starts boiling, I'll be back with you. My water's boiling here, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drop our broccoli in. Now what I'm going to do, right here I need some ice water. I got a bowl with some ice. Put some water in there now. And then as soon as my broccoli's done, I'm going to take it out, put it in here and shock it so that it stops cooking. This will keep my broccoli nice and green. Won't overcook it. The water's coming back to a boil. We're just going to give it just a few seconds with it coming back to a boil. There we go. Go ahead and turn that burner off. Broccoli in here, stop the cooking. And after 40 minutes in the oven, total time, so 20 and 20, they look like this. And they're definitely getting a little bit harder, a little bit crunchier on the outside. Now you could deep fry these and kind of get the same effect, but you know, we're trying to be a little bit healthier. Not sure if that's working, but we're trying. So our pan's just starting to get hot. Put a tablespoon of oil in there. Now if you don't want to cook with oil, you can put a little water in there and it'll be close. Anyway, to our oil, we're going to add some garlic, ginger. We're going to put that right in the oil. That way that's going to flavor the oil. We're going to go ahead and put our shiitake mushrooms in there. The green onions that we chopped up, we're going to put about a third, so we're going to put enough green onion for about 1 chopped up green onion. As you can see, everything's kind of cooking along. The shiitakes that are about the only thing that we need to really cook now. Well, the ginger and the garlic. So all this stuff is basically raw, but it doesn't take long to cook the shiitakes. And the tofu, it's already cooked. The broccoli, it's already cooked. So we're just going to be adding those. So this makes a really quick meal. You can do the preparation ahead of time, and then when you're ready to cook it, you just kind of throw everything together. See how these shiitakes are starting to get a little brown on them? That's what we're looking for. We're wanting to do it on all sides. So this will take, a few minutes. I am getting some really, really good smells coming out of here right now, and getting some color on the shiitakes. Everything's good. So let's go ahead and bring our sauce in. Bring it up to a boil. Let the cornstarch thicken a little bit. It's just about the thickness I'm looking for. Now remember, the tofu is going to soak up a lot of moisture because it's dried out on the outside. Go ahead and throw a broccoli in. Let that start coating a little bit. But it's not really clinging yet. Now, put our tofu in. Okay, so see if we can plate this up. Sauce is a little thinner than what I was hoping for. We'll be okay. It's still going to be delicious. So let's see how it tastes. First, I want to try one of the shiitake mushrooms. That sauce is good. Broccoli. So let's try the tofu. It's definitely soaked up a lot of that flavor from the sauce. The outside's crunchy and kind of chewy, so it's pretty cool. The inside's nice and soft. Anyway, overall, I think the dish is a score.
Victory shall be mine.